For hundreds of years, international trade and exploration was accomplished by the use of sailing ships. These vessels reached the height of their perfection with the clipper ships, but as steam engines got perfected, the use of sail declined, and when diesel took over, sail was all but dead. With the ongoing climate crisis, shipping lines are now taking another look at sail to move cargo. Hi, I'm Peter Ziobrowski with Halifax Shipping News. And in the last couple of years, there's been a renewed interest in using sail to propel vessels to move cargo and freight around the world. Often viewed as an old technology, the wind is, of course, free, can either directly propel a vessel or offer significant fuel savings to traditionally powered vessels. In this video, we're going to take a look at some wind-powered vessels that have been tried in the recent history and some that are coming in the future. Wind-propelled vessels basically work in one of two ways. The first is they're directly pushed by the wind. You'll see this with the kites or with a traditional square-rigged vessel where the wind pushes against a sail and propels the ship forward. Modern sailboats, when they're flying a large spinnaker, also use this principle. Fore and aft rigged vessels use the same principles as an airplane wing to propel themselves. The curve of the sail produces high and low pressure zones, with the low pressure zone being in front of the sail, which causes the vessel to get sucked forward. One of the first explorations of wind-powered vessels was a vessel that belonged to Beluga Shipping called the Skysails. Beluga Shipping outfitted the ship with a mast on the bow, which could then fly a kite to capture the wind and help tow the ship along. The vessel actually still exists, though it's unclear whether or not it's still capable of flying the skysail, as they called it. But it was an interesting pilot for reinvigorating cargo shipping with wind. Another type of wind solution that is being seen a little more frequently is something called a Flattener Rotor. So a Flattener Rotor is basically a big spinning cylinder. Often there's several, 2 to 4 on the vessel. And when these rotors spin, they interact with the wind to produce lift, help propel the vessel forward. These so far are insufficient to enable the vessel to be wind powered on its own, but they can contribute to a 20 to 30% fuel savings. Another approach that's being tried is the Back to the Future approach, where several shipping companies have formed to use traditional style sailing vessels to move high value cargoes. One such line is a company called Timber Coast, who operates a schooner doing cargo runs between Europe, the Caribbean, and occasionally North America. They tend to trade in high value coffee cargoes, such as coffee beans, which come in sacks and can be packed aboard ship. This is very much traditional shipping where there's a cargo hold and cargo is manually packed into it. Another company doing this sort of thing is Sail Cargo. They're actually building new build, purpose-built vessels, but they're being constructed out of wood and are still very, very traditional. But again, the goal is to move cargo under sail. There's several exciting new approaches to moving cargo under sail. Michelin is developing an inflatable wing sail. This is actually being installed on a ship for trials, and the idea being that this sail collapses, but when it's ready to be used, it can be inflated so it doesn't take up a lot of space, and it can be used to supplement the ship's engines and result in fuel savings. Michelin's heavily invested in wind shipping. They've partnered with another French company called Neoline, who is in the process of developing and building commercial scale cargo vessel, the Neoliner. This vessel is going to be a roll-on, roll-off ship, and the idea is that it will do regular scheduled transatlantic crossings, and Michelin intends to use it to move containers between France and its plants in Nova Scotia. Along the same lines, but slightly larger project, Wallenius Wilhelmsen is in the process of developing a wind-powered roll-on, roll-off cargo vessel. The Oricel Wind is designed to sail 10 to 12 knots exclusively under sail, or it can go faster using supplemental engine power. The Wallenius Wilhelmsen claims that this will reduce emissions in shipping by 90%. Unlike the other vessels, which are going to be relatively small, this one's designed to carry 7,000 cars, which puts it at scale with modern pure car truck carriers. It should be noted that most of these designs are using a modern wing sail, as opposed to a more traditional canvas fore and aft sail. These are going to be large and rigid and mechanical, and they're going to be computer controlled to basically optimize performance with the wind. Another company using sails to offset fuel emissions is Cargill. Cargill is one of the world's largest haulers of bulk cargoes, and they have outfitted the 80,000 ton bulk carrier Pisces Ocean with 2 wind wings. Each one's 37.5 meters tall. It's about 123 feet. And these are computer controlled. Again, the idea isn't to exclusively propel the ship, but to supplement the onboard propulsion, allowing the engine to work less hard and burn significantly less fuel, reducing costs and emissions. With a return to sail, it'll be interesting to see if international trade routes change once again to reflect the trade routes of the past. When sailing vessels plied the oceans, shipping routes were often somewhat indirect, as ships sailed to take best advantage of the prevailing winds when crossing the ocean. With steam engines, winds significantly less impact on the routing, and ships now often sail great circle routes to minimize the overall distance that's sailed. So it'll be interesting to see how companies route their vessels, whether they be exclusively sail powered or motor driven with supplemental wind power, whether they favor the shorter route or whether they take a slightly more indirect route to take advantage of prevailing winds. If you like this video, please leave a comment, hit the bell to be notified of future videos. Please subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.